All right. So today we are going to wrap up chapter 4. Okay. We're going to wrap up the concepts of lodging and the different, those key performance indicators, how they are evaluated by different hotels. And then we're also going to compare hotels' performances from one to another. Okay. So that's going to be our in class activity. You may have noticed, if you haven't already, I did post. I found out today that the street taco cook off is going to be Saturday, October 25th from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay. At the Hotel Contessa, I posted the announcement in Canvas. The link to register goes live at 7 a.m. on Friday. Okay. I wanted to make it at 7 a.m. just in case some people have an 8 a.m. class. On Friday, I didn't want to take them out of the consideration. So 7 a.m. on Friday. When you sign up, you need to have your whole team signed up. So all three team members sign up. One person signs everybody up. Okay. Only full complete teams are going to be considered. So if you fill out a partial application, then I'll move on to the next team. Okay. Um, so it is for it does say it's for second year students. I should have probably said that they've completed Chef 1301. So if you've completed basic skills, then you're eligible to compete. Okay. If you haven't completed Chef basic skills, that's okay. We do this in the spring, in the fall. They seem to keep wanting to do this street taco cook off. So we're doing it for Dia de los Muertos right now, and then in the spring we did one for Fiesta. Um, so if you don't get into it this time, then hopefully maybe the next time we'll be able to get you signed up for those. Um, the other one that is the last volunteer or the last participation activity is going to be November the 4th. It's a Tuesday night. It's called Headshots and Shakes. Okay. And so that is put on by the International Live Event Association, ILEA. And it is a networking event for their members to meet you all as students. You could potentially find your future employer at that place, or business with individuals. So ILEA is the International Live Event Association. So they're everything that has to do with events, from decor to linen to rentals to DJs to um, catering to anything that has to do with events, to venues, all of that. And so they're hosting their networking mixer. It'll be upstairs on the fourth floor from, I believe it's like either 5 to 7 or 6 to 8. I'm not quite sure. We'll have a final planning meeting next week on the 30th. Um, so I'll post that sign up. And then also at the event, they're going to have photographers so you can get your professional headshot taken. So if you want to dress in your chef uniform or you want to dress in business attire, you can get your headshot just like my picture right up here. Um, if you'd like, that way you have a professional image for your LinkedIn profile, and whatnot. So they are going to be offering that headshots, and then the handshakes is the networking portion. Okay. Um, so more details to come on that. That's November the 4th. So it is a little bit later. So we have a little bit more time to sign up for that. Make sure I have everything off my checklist. I think I do. Remember, next week, it's an independent study. So you are going to be doing the quiz for chapter 4. Okay. And then you also have the reading for chapter 5 and chapter 6. Okay. So both of those are your independent studies. If you get them done before, then you can take a little bit of a break. Okay. And then I will see y'all back in class on the 29th. Okay. I'm going to do my best. I get back on Thursday, the 25th in the morning. I will do my best to be acclimated back by the 29th. When we have class at 2 o'clock, my body may still think it's 3 a.m. Because I'll be 13 hours ahead. And so I'll have to get used to being back in this time zone. But So I apologize in advance if I'm a little incoherent on the 29th. But we will have class, I promise. Okay. All right. Everyone has a piece of paper ready? Okay. I was gonna print this out, but then I thought, that's gonna waste a lot of paper, kill a lot of trees. This is just a little bit of information. It's not like you necessarily have to have it on a piece of paper or print it out. Okay. So um let me see if I can get one more. There we go. That's what I want. All right. So if you remember, we have for hotels, we have three different KPIs, key performance indicators. It is not on Canvas. No, and you don't have to write it all out. You can just write the answers. This is totally fine. Okay. Um, Occupancy percentage, average daily rate, bless you, and revenue per available room. Okay. So I'm going to remind you of our math formulas. Now, I don't expect you as culinarians, as pastry. I don't expect you to memorize these, but there is some kind of metrics that there's a way that you can actually apply this to your restaurant, right? Um, and so, as far as like occupancy, how many people did you serve? How many people can you serve in a normal dinner? How many did you serve? Well, that will give you what your occupancy was. And we will obviously want to be as close to 100% occupancy as possible. And so occupancy, we're going to take the rooms sold and we're going to divide by the rooms available. Okay. And then we're going to take that and we're going to multiply it by 100. When we multiply by 100, it's just basically going to move our decimal place over. So let's do that example right here. For Hotel A, I have 552 rooms that are occupied. See that? And we're going to divide that by the 1,000 rooms we have available at our hotel. So when we divide 552 by 1,000, what do we get? What? 0.552. Okay. And then when we multiply by 100, how many zeros is in 100? Two. So we're going to move that decimal place over 2. 55.2%. Okay. We want to have a decimal place when we want to have one decimal place when it comes to percentages. Because 55.2 is different from 55. Okay. Um, right now, we're just talking about one night, right? But we could potentially, if we talk about the whole year, that 0.2 can skew our numbers very significantly. So we always want to have at least one decimal when it comes to percentages. Okay. So in our occupancy, we're going to put 55.2%. Okay. Average daily rate. Let's go with blue for this one. ADR. ADR is equal to the revenue divided by the rooms sold. Right? We're looking for the average. How do you find the average of any number? Any group of numbers? How do you find the average? Good. We add them all up and then divide by the number. So in this case, our revenue, which is 1,000 or 156,420, that's my revenue. And I sold 552 rooms. We talked about last class about how we don't always sell the rooms for the exact same price. Some rooms are sold for a higher price, some rooms are sold for a lesser price. This will give us our average. So if we do 156,420 divided by 552, what do we get?
283.37.
Good. So we're talking dollars and cents. So we need to have two decimal places on this number because that's what that represents is the dollars and cents. So 283.37. 37. Do we all agree? Cool. Now, revenue per available room. Let's go with green for this one. This is called RevPAR, per available room. RevPAR is equal to the same revenue number, but it is divided by the rooms available. Okay. So in this case, because we've got 1,000, right? How many decimals are in 1,000, or how many zeros are in 1,000? 3 zeros. So we're gonna move that decimal place over 3 spots. And that becomes our answer of 156.42. Okay. Of course, yeah. So this one, let me go ahead and do the actual math for this one, just because it works out with the decimals because of the 1,000. The other examples are not going to be as clean. So let me do the actual math. So in this case, our same revenue number, 156,200 or 420. That's my revenue number. And this time I'm going to divide by 1,000 rooms because that's my rooms that are available. Oops. Okay. Those are my rooms that are available. Essentially, what we're doing with this one is we're taking into consideration those 400 and what is that? 448 rooms that we did not sell, right? Because we only sold 552 of our 1,000 rooms. So there's still 482 or so 48 that did not get sold. What's that?
So when I saw that, when I was doing the work, I thought it would divide it by the ones that is not sold. Right. Okay.
No, it's the rooms that are the total rooms for the hotel. Yeah, exactly. I could see how you think rooms available, those are the rooms are still available. Right, yeah. No, we're looking at the total rooms that are available for the hotel. Because then that tells us then how much revenue, potential revenue did we really lose, right? Because our rate, yeah, we sold our average rooms for $283, but in reality, because we did not sell those extra 400 rooms, we lost out on that revenue. So in reality, my revenue per available room is only $156. Okay? Your RevPAR should always be less than your ADR. There's only one time, if you're completely full and you're at 100% occupancy, then the numbers will be the same. But your RevPAR should always be less than your ADR. Okay? Questions, comments, concerns? I'm going to erase the math portions. I'm going to leave the formulas up there. Okay? Leave the formulas up there. And now let's take a look at Hotel B. Okay, so Hotel B has these numbers right here. Go ahead and see if you can calculate these KPIs, and then you can check your answers with your neighbor. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video so we're not just listening to silence. We'll come back as we talk about Hotel B.